What up, folks? It's your boy Dash back again with another word of the day. Yeah, I missed a few days because TikTok would not let me be great. I don't know what was going on. It showed that my video uploaded, but it hadn't. So anyway, here we are. Here we are. And today, as always, is a goodie. It's a goodie. Today's word is release. Release. Sorry, y'all was chewing on something. Today's word is releasing. You know, I feel like there's a lot of different ways to explain release, but the way that I'm gonna break it down, matter of fact, we're just gonna go straight into it. Release your thoughts of doubt. Let them go. Let them go, because doubt leads into other things, which we're gonna get into. Joshua 1:9 says, "Remember, I commanded you to be strong and brave. Don't be afraid, because the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go." Now, with doubt, you can't even believe that. But he said that it is, so it is. It's true. You've been through so many different things and you've came out of them. Why? He was with you. Proverbs 3:5 says also, "Trust the Lord completely and don't depend on your own knowledge. In all your ways submit to him and he will make your path straight." Now we already know what our way of thinking does, because the way that we think, if the circumstance looks like this, then in our mind, there's no way we're getting out of it. We're just going to stay in it forever. That's just how us humans think. When we're in a bad situation, it's the worst situation in the world. When we get out of it and look back, you realize, man, it ain't even that bad. And that's what that doubt does. That doubt and the fact that God will bring you out of it is what leaves way for all of those crazy thoughts, all of those wow. I mean, we come up with some of the wildest scenarios as far as what bad things are going to happen because of the circumstance we're in. I mean, we come up with some of the wildest stuff. But that leads me to my next point. Release the thoughts of fear. That's what that doubt brings. Fear. Because when you start feeling like there's no way out of something, then you start getting scared of what it may look like when if you were to stay in it forever, because the idea of getting out of it just goes over. Just goes over. But 2 Timothy 1:7 says, "For God has not given us a spirit of fear and timidity, but of power, love, and self-discipline." Now see, power, love, and self-discipline. Let me talk to that self-discipline. First of all, it says God has not given us a spirit of fear or timidity. So we're not supposed to be scared, and we're not supposed to be timid. If you are, then you know that ain't God. That's the enemy trying to make you fall off your square. That's first and foremost. But it says self-discipline. Self-discipline. See, when that doubt comes in and then that fear starts to rise, what happens is we start trying to find our own way of handling things, when we should be self-disciplined. We should be self-disciplined, and we should have the idea, this is removing the doubt, because self-discipline removes that doubt, and it says, okay, I just need to stay righteous and make sure I continue to work, and God will help me to come out of this. But that self-discipline leaves, now you start doing stupid stuff to try to solve the situation. Like if listen, when we talk about people, people will be in a relationship and their partner will answer every single phone call that you give them. Every time you call them, they'll answer. And then that one time that they don't answer, now the enemy creeps in and convinces you to feel like, oh, they didn't answer, so they must be doing something that they shouldn't be doing, without even thinking about all of the other scenarios that can be involved with somebody not answering the phone, somebody being asleep, somebody being at work and not being able to answer the phone. But no, the enemy will have you thinking that your partner, the partner that God made for you, is doing something that they shouldn't be doing. Isaiah 41:10 says, "Don't be afraid, for I am with you. Don't be discouraged, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will hold you up with my victorious right hand." And in that scenario that I just stated, that's exactly what God will do. He will give you the frame of mind that will help you realize that this person loves me. This person wouldn't do this to me. This person, and it'll take you away from that worldly idea of I can't trust nobody, or these girls ain't loyal. Listen, Whoever you find is truly a reflection of yourself. And that's a fact. Because if you can't find anyone loyal, then maybe you need to focus on your focus system. Maybe you need to look at the criteria that you're going off of. Maybe you need to figure out what it is that you need to look for and stop looking for what you've been looking for. Because when you're looking for what you've been looking for, you keep finding somebody that's crossing you. So maybe it's you, not the people. Because the idea of you continuously finding the same person over and over and over and over, you don't think that that's an internal issue? You don't feel like that's an internal issue? Think about that. Think about that. Y'all, Chris Brown got y'all screaming out, these girls ain't loyal, when they weren't loyal when you met them. So what did you see that made you feel like they were? Like, anyway, moving forward, release from the stronghold. Now, this is a big one, see, because we all have a stronghold, I feel, that is putting us in a position to doubt. It takes us right back to doubt. Because that stronghold to be going on for so long, that's why it's called a stronghold, because it holds strong. And it goes on for so long that the enemy uses that to creep in and tell you that it'll never leave. Listen, there is nothing in life that lasts forever. The only thing that we have that lasts forever is God. There's nothing that lasts forever. Nothing. I don't care what it is. Nothing that lasts forever. But anyway, Ephesians 6:10 says, finally, be strong in the Lord and in his mighty power. And see, God is stronger than that stronghold. God is stronger than that stronghold. See, what you've been doing, or what we do, is look at that stronghold and give it more credit than it deserves. And we start feeling like that stronghold is a circumstance that we're just going to be in. We were in a pandemic and people had the idea that we were just going to be wearing masks for the rest of our lives. Are we? Are we? I mean, there's some people that are still wearing it, but the general population, the majority of it, no, you're not wearing a mask. So please give God that same respect, okay? Galatians 5:1 says, we have freedom now because Christ made us free. So stand strong in that freedom. Don't go back into slavery again. Don't go back into slavery again. Don't be a slave to that stronghold, because it says that God has given us freedom. Christ made us free. Don't be a slave to that stronghold, because that stronghold ain't stronger than God. We don't tell God about our mountains. We tell our mountains about God. You feel me? Because all of these things need to be released. They need to be released because if they're not released, then you can't expect to fill yourself with the Holy Spirit when you're filling yourself with doubt, when you're filling yourself with fear, when you're filling yourself with the idea that you'll never get out of the situation or circumstance that you're in. When you start believing that, how can you believe the Holy Spirit will help you? Because now you believe that the fear holds precedent, the doubt holds precedent, whatever that stronghold is, that holds precedent, and you start feeling like that they are the end all be all. And you start carrying your life like that's the case. You start carrying your life like this is what it's going to be. When in actuality, all you have to do is accept the baptism of the Holy Spirit, allow it to fill you, spend time with God, speak to him, and then you'll learn to hear his voice. And guess what? He'll give you instruction. He'll say, look, sit still. I'll take you out of it. Sometimes he'll take you out of it. Sometimes you're going to have to work your way through it. Sometimes he'll take you around the craziness so you won't even have to feel it. But in order to do that, you have to release the doubt. You have to release the fear. You have to release from that stronghold. In order to do any of those that I just stated, you will need God. And that is a fact. That is a fact. So please, people, release them. Dash out. Love y'all.